What's in a name? You know, most people today don't have a name that truly has a meaning that reflects who they are. For example, Scott means from Scotland, and Jason means healer in the Greek. But I want to tell you a story today of a man named Bartimaeus. Now, the name Bartimaeus means son of the unclean. His father's name was Timaeus, which means foul, defiled, or polluted, or unclean. So every time someone called out the name Bartimaeus, they were calling him the son of the unclean. And not only did his name label him, but Bartimaeus was also blind. He had no other way to survive other than to sit on the side of the road and beg for food or money. And this is what people saw when they saw Bartimaeus. They saw somebody who was filthy, someone who was gross, smelly, stinky, ugly, and just an eyesore. He was an embarrassment to his village. No one wanted to look at him, be around him. No one cared about him, and no one took the time to get to know him. Day after day, Bartimaeus heard the words that they were saying to him, because even though he was blind, the people thought he couldn't hear, so they were constantly calling him all these mean names. How many of you have someone that cares for you? Well, that's great news. But how many of you have ever been called names or bullied before? That's not fun. And unfortunately, that's what Bartimaeus had to deal with all the time. But one day, something was different. The people were rushing past Bartimaeus because Jesus was in town. And as soon as Bartimaeus heard that Jesus was in town, he began to cry out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Now the people were in shock. They looked at him in disgust, as if to say, why is he calling on Jesus? But Jesus said, "What can I do for you?" And Bartimaeus replied, "Lord, that I may receive my sight." And Jesus said, "Let it be done unto you." And Bartimaeus was no longer blind. He received his sight and could see. Now, this was a shock to everyone that Jesus, the Messiah, would love on someone so filthy and gross. But unlike everybody else, Jesus saw him as valuable. He saw that Bartimaeus had a purpose for living. He looked past what was buried underneath of all of the scum, dirt, and grind, and saw somebody who was precious and worth his time. So today, no matter what your name is, no matter where you're from, who you're related to, or what you've been through, remember Jesus will always make time for you. He loves you, he thinks you're valuable, and he will always care for you.